Welcome back to Vic's Projects, and today we're going to make the Jag a little bit less gangster by making it slightly more gangster. So what do I mean by this? Well, if we take a close look, you'll see that one side of the car has got a bit of a gangster lean on. And I think one of the original coil springs has collapsed, just given up the ghost, a bit too old. So something came up on eBay, some proper lowering springs. So they're about the same price as normal springs, so we'll put these guys in and see what a difference it makes. So the easy part of this job is to take everything out, starting with the shock. Well, the shocks come out nice and easy, but maybe I should have dialed out some of that compression first. Oh well. Onto the spring. We need to remove the spring plate without losing a limb, and in hindsight I think compressing the spring to level it off was not a good idea. However, to remove some of the depth factor, I've used some threaded bar as guides. Wow, even with those guides, that was super sketchy trying to get this out. So if you're doing this at home, be careful, there's a lot of pressure in these guys. So, how does our new spring compare to the old spring? Well, we've got about 8 centimeters difference between them. However, I don't think you'll see that in the height, because this guy I can compress a bit, and this guy, oh, there's no way. So I think we'll bang this one in and see how she looks. Hopefully it's far less sketchy getting her in. First attempt, simply wind up the guides made from threaded bar. Well, that was bullshit. Let's try a central bar to pull it all the way up. Slowly but surely. Well, I'm really pleased to announce that even after all that mild peril, I am still alive and have all my fingers intact. These are pretty dodgy taking in and out. I think I've got it licked. I think I know what to do when we do the other side. So, having put our new spring in, how's the car looking? Well, it's actually, with our new lowering springs, we're 1.5 centimeters higher than we were on these old springs, which just goes to show you how aged these guys were. Now, I know they do take a little while to settle out and actually settle into the proper ride height. So once we take it for a drive, hopefully that will all get settled out and we'll see what the new ride height actually is. But before we can do that, we need to do the other side. So with this new technique, I don't need to keep the base plate level, which keeps the overall spring tension down. And having the 4 guys ensures everything is a lot safer should something let go. Assembly is simply the reverse of removal, as they say. I found it really useful to use the central 2 bolts to pull it all together before removing those guides. Well, I was in 2 minds about these new springs. I thought they were going to be far too racy, far too hard. Well, actually, there's a big bump coming up. It rides really, really well. So yeah, I'm really impressed. I took a little bit of damping off the adjustable dampers just to compensate for some of the for it being a harsher spring. But yeah, I really like these. So with our fancy new lowering springs, where did we actually end up? Well, in order to answer that question, I need to know what the stock ride height is, and I cannot find anything on that. Nothing on the internet. Haynes manuals, is there a difference between the 2.4 and the 3.8? You know, is it the same coils that they fit for those and it just ends up wherever it ends up? Really don't know. So I put a message out on one of the Facebook groups and I had a couple of measurements back. The measurement I've got is from here to here of 375 millimeters. So where do we compare? We are at about 390 mil, so 25 mil higher. Now I don't know if that's because that guy's car is lowered or what, but yeah, that's where we ended up. Maybe if somebody knows what the stock ride height should be, put it down in the comments. I'd really like to know. So one of the good things is I've taken the measurement this side and that side, and they're the same. So where we had our gangster lean going on, it was actually a collapsed coil rather than something funny going on, and we'd have to investigate all of that. So that's all good news. It's not, however, the look I was going for. I was hoping for a bit of a lower. We've run out of time in this video. I've got a couple of ideas of how we could do that, and we might explore that in another video. But for now, that's where we've ended up. Well, we've been driving around on the new springs now for about a month, and I am really happy with them. They are performing absolutely lovely. I'm not sure you can call them lowering springs. However, they are running really nice and just showing up how bad those original springs are in the rear. Well, that'll be it for this episode of Vic's Projects. If you like what you see, also check out my Instagram. I post up there a lot more frequently, and we'll see you next time on Vic's Projects.